say, all three of these coalesce into one. And if I can take the time for a little enjoyable anecdote, a long time ago, when I was explaining this principle about how in China the religions are related differently than in the West, not as competitors, why, the next day a student brought me a Dear Abby column, which made this point with a graphicness I could not have conceived. It was a short letter. I'll read it. I remember it. Dear Abby, I am 31 years old and attractive, and I'm interested in religion. I am a member of the First Methodist Church, Blessed Angels Catholic Church, and B'nai Emunah Synagogue. I also attend Christian Science services, though I do take aspirin occasionally. Please, I'm interested in getting married. Can you tell me how I can meet a man who is interested in any or all of these religions? Signed, Ida. Now comes back Abby. Dear Ida, you seem to have the bases covered. And then, but now, the next time, I do not see how you can belong to all these religions. Well, of course, Abby couldn't see that because she was Western. But for Chinese, there would be no problem at all, because these religions service different components of the human self. And you ask, how does this relate to Confucianism? Well, this basic attitude toward the intertwining of the opposite just pervades all Chinese culture, and if we want to be literal, we can say Confucianism and Taoism, too, are in this whole, but each laps over into the domain of the other.
You were strongly influenced, were you not, by growing up in China? I mean, you began in this small village, right?
Zhangzhou. That's my hometown. It's located 70 miles northwest of Shanghai. And the only way we could get to Shanghai was 5 hours by barge and another hour on a train from Suzhou. Every childhood, if you know nothing different, seems perfectly ordinary, the way the world is ordained. Of course, we knew that we were different. Ours was the only house in town that had a porch, and I remember the most fragrant roses there. After breakfast, the whole servant's family would come in, and there'd be a reading of a chapter in the Bible and the singing of a hymn. My mother taught piano as her mission. A mountain rose just a few feet back from our house. On top there was a pagoda built to incarcerate evil spirits. Most of the religion that lapped around us in this tiny village was folk religion, which centers in evil spirits, of which they're innumerable and mostly bad. So the Christian message that my parents brought gave a certain population in this town a spiritual anchorage that the folk religion that lapped around them did not. When we looked out back window in cold weather as well as warm, we would see people on the mountain doing their Tai Chi Chuan, early in the morning. And even though as you know, the gestures are so graceful, choreographed, looks as much like a dance as a physical exercise. In the cold weather, you could see the steam coming from their body because of the intensity of the metabolic processes that were released by these gestures.
You brought this with you.
This is my first primer because though our education was English, 3 afternoons a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they would import a tutor, and he would give us the rudiments of a Chinese education.
You remember it still?
I don't even have to look at the word, but they found it goes ku-ku-dee-dee, ku-ku-da-dee-dee, xio, ku-ku-ba-dee-dee, ha-ku-ku, ha-dee-dee, ni-a-ngu-ngu-a-ni, ku-ku-tsang-ku-ngu-pa-zhi, ngu-yi-sam-o-i-da-er-xio. Shall I translate?
Sure.
The meaning is Chinese too. Big brother is big. Little brother is little. Big brother carries little brother. Good big brother. Good little brother. I love you. You love me. You see the family emphasis coming in right in the first words that they read.
While you were doing that, I was repeating, see John run, see Mary run. Look, see?
Look and see, and that's illustrative too, because we are empiricists in the West. It's the fruition in modern science which arose in the West and nowhere else.
So what would you say has been the essence of Confucianism's contribution to the world?
I would say it is in the area of social relationship. Nothing is more important in Confucianism than the 5 constant relationships. And these are the 5 places where human lives intersect. The first is parent and child. The second is spouse and spouse. The third is elder brother and younger brother. The fourth is elder friend and younger friend. And the fifth is ruler and subject. Now, as every individual makes its way, his or her way through society, we're always in the midst of these cross currents of human relationship. And it's exactly within that weather system of these currents going on all the time and how we comport ourselves in the face of those currents that our destiny depends. Note, this is not yogis up in the caves for 40 years by themselves. Confucius had no use for that as a way to become human. We work out our humanity in these cross currents of human relationship. But now, how do we face them? It's like our wings. Everything depends on how our wings are set. If they're tilted at the right angle, then as these currents of human relationships come towards us every day, we will mount and our full humanity will blossom. But if our wings are slightly tipped downward, then we'll go devolving into the atrocities that human life can lead to. Now, what is the secret of whether the wings are tipped up or tipped down? And their word is ren. Ren, which in terms of the pictograph is composed of 2 radicals. The first is for a human being. You have a torso